Hello everybody, Boasted Boastar here, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Go Beyond data pack. This pack includes a lot of cool things such as stands, spin, and a couple other cool items I'm going to showcase here today. So let's get right into it. Alright, let's get started here with this item. This is arguably the most important and biggest item in the entire pack. If you know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is, if you've ever read it or watched the anime, you know that this is the stand arrow, the item that gifts the ability of stand power, in most cases rather. So to craft it, it's fairly simple. It's just a spectral arrow surrounded by golden ingots. Now, the tough part's just going to be getting your hand on that spectral arrow, but shouldn't be too difficult. So the way stand arrows work in this is, exactly like the manga and like the anime. You take it in your hand, and to activate it, you need to have a key bound to swap things into your offhand. Mine is just default at F, so I'll press the F key, and I'll start taking withering damage and getting hurt really, really fast. Now, this is the arrow's way of testing you to see if you're worthy. Me, not so much. As we can see here in the bottom left corner, we get a little message that says the arrow rejects you. That's what a failed arrow attempt looked like. Now, when you're able to withstand that damage for long enough by regeneration or eating something like a golden apple and having enough health, you're gifted with the ability of a stand. Now, you're able to choose in the data pack from a long list that will appear in chat, but in the manga and anime, they're randomly generated per user. Stands are able to be stored in these things called stand discs, which you can craft like this. Now, they're fairly simple to craft. It's actually just a piece of glass in the middle surrounded by some iron in a pattern like this, and you will get one of these stand discs. Now, if you have a stand equipped, you're able to right-click with the disc and store the stand inside. Now, yours won't be labeled like mine all in this chest over here, but you're able to label them yourselves with an anvil. Alright, so the first stand we're going to be taking a look at is the stand of the main villain of Part 3, Dio's The World. The World is a really cool stand, so we'll show you what it looks like here. You take a little bit of damage around you, and then each stand has a unique icon. So when you have a stand in-game, it does sacrifice the first slot of your hotbar, which I honestly feel like it's a really fair trade-off. Anyhow, considering the abilities you're going to gain. So the world looks like this. The model is really cool. I love the model for this, and this is what it looks like from the back. So the world's main ability is called Time Stop. So let's show you what that looks like. Let's get some cow spawn eggs here. So if we spawn a couple cows, and we use Time Stop, it'll do a little charge up animation, and bam! Okay, it stops time. Everything is frozen for, I think, somewhere around 6 or 7 seconds, and you can move around freely while everything else is stopped. So you switch abilities with stands by pressing the key that you have bound to swapping hotbars, and that's how that works. So the I almost said the world's second ability is Barrage, and a lot of stands have this. It's a fairly common attack in JoJo. It's just a big anime punchy fist attack. It's great. It does a decent amount of damage. You could realistically use this in-game. Very fast barrage of punches, and all of the attacks and abilities do have cooldowns. Its third ability is a combo, and a lot of stands also have this, where they do a cool, flashy finisher combo move, which is actually really nice. So this one, oh, see, that's what I was about to say, is some of these, like this one, you have to press at certain times in order to have a combo kind of start. I think this one is fairly simple. You can kind of just spam click most of them. And it does an attack, but that cow was killed way too quickly. The combo didn't even really get to finish, but that's its third ability. So on to its fourth. It has a low kick, which does something like 7 hearts of damage. It's actually really crazy. It's a lot easier to aim stand attacks in first person. I just think it looks better from third person mode. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It does a decent amount of damage. Yeah, okay, alright. And then It has a secondary first ability where if you hold shift, it's called Quick Stop. This allows you to quickly teleport forward 6 blocks while hiding everyone else's and everything around you's vision. So it's like a quick little time stop happening. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that's basically the world wrapped up. Now the next stand on our list is the protagonist of Part 3's Star Platinum. This stand belongs to Jotaro Kujo. Star Platinum is very similar to the world in the sense that they're basically twin stands. They can both stop time. They're both very fast, very precise. So Star Platinum isn't super different from the world. It does have some different attacks and different abilities, but overall it's very similar. So to start off, it has its primary ability is Starfinger. It is able to shoot its finger forward in that motion, and it attacks things that are, I think it's 3 or 4 blocks away. And then obviously that has a cooldown that's pretty long. Yeah, it does a decent amount of damage on contact. It also has a combat combo. Not all the stands do, but quite a few of them do. So if we get like a cow here again, it'll probably stop halfway through, but let's give it a shot. It throws it up. Does a punch barrage. Oh, it even gave you a little sneak peek of the time stop there. So, just like the world, Star Platinum can stop time. I think it is for a slightly shorter duration than the world, so I guess the world is just a bit better in that respect. Let's go ahead and do it. Right click. It does its little animation. You've got a few seconds of time stop. Bam. Plays all the sound effects and everything. It's really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much Star Platinum wrapped up. Now the next stand is a little different. It is the stand of Jean-Pierre Polnareff, Silver Chariot. It's a very cool stand. It's a knight with a rapier. It's great. So its primary ability is Blade Shot, where it is able to shoot its sword forward to bounce off and get stuck in whatever object it just flew away to. Now, oh dear. See, we've goofed it now. We have to go pick up the blade. Anyhow, when you shoot the blade out, it flings far away, and you do have to go find it. Which is kind of the downside to that attack. But it is very good for long range. I think it does anywhere between 3 and 4 hearts of damage. Its next ability is called Piercing Slash. It kind of leaps forward and again does a little slash, and it can go through multiple enemies, I do believe, so we want to test that out here. Hopefully these cows will stay in position long enough. Oh well. Yeah, it's able to go through targets and do piercing damage, which is really cool. And then this stand also has a barrage, except it's with swords, so it's infinitely cooler. Love it. I almost said Star Platinum. Silver Chariot also has a combat combo. Oh dear, I've just taken the item frame. So be careful, because it will pick up whatever entities, but this one is really cool. It removes its armor for a little bit and gets faster. We'll talk about this later. Dear. Its final ability is to remove its armor, and it just gets faster, and it gets a very nice speed buff. Well, that wraps up Silver Chariot. Alright, so the next stand on the list is the stand of Muhammad Avdol, Magician's Red. Now this stand is super cool. It has little animated things around they look like little cuffs around the knees and arms there. It's great. I don't think any other stand really has animated things like that. Now, this stand is drastically different from the other ones we've seen so far, as its attacks are all based around fire. So its primary ability is called Crossfire Hurricane. It shoots out 3 crosses in a pattern like this that lights all the things in front of it on fire. It kind of explodes. It's a little bit of explosion damage. And then it has its secondary ability called Red Bind. This one I'm going to get in first person to aim a little bit better. You right click on a target and it binds them in place for a short period of time. Well, if it actually would have hit, but yeah. This one is called Life Detector. It's its third ability. You right-click, and it summons a fire cross in front of you that is able to detect nearby life. I think it points you in the direction of life nearby with the little flame, so like right at this cow. And that sticks around even if you scroll off the ability just for a short period of time. Now, the last ability is called Fire Breath, and it's definitely the best out of all of them. Your stand jumps in front of you, and it can breathe fire, and it lights everything in front of it on fire. Now, it is a little bit difficult to aim in some circumstances. I think it's better to kind of stand back, but that sort of serves as its barrage move. And that is Magician's Right all wrapped up. Alright, so the next stand is the stand of Joseph Joestar, Hermit Purple. Now, it doesn't have a humanoid form, but it takes the form of purple vines wrapped around your right arm. So, its primary ability is called Tie Enemy, and I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can walk up to a mob and right-click on it, and it binds it in place, and it's kind of like a magical lead. You can pull it with you for a short period of time. You can lead it around. It's kind of cool. Just have like a little built-in lead for a while. Now, its secondary ability is called Vine Swing. You right-click at a target that's nearby, and it will pull you towards it. It's really cool, and then you float down safely for a short period. The third ability is called Vine Whip, so it hits in like a directional attack. All things in front of you, it does like some sweeping damage. It's got a relatively short cooldown, so this could be used in combat pretty decently. And then its last ability is called Spirit Photography, which it does need paper to use, and I'm not going to show this one off, unfortunately, because it is bugged. Basically, if you've watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or read the manga, you can use a camera that will show you the direction of a player or entity, but the cameras are broken right now, and they stick around forever and don't actually activate their ability. That is Hermit Purple wrapped up. The next stand we're going to go take a look at is the stand of Noriaki Kakuin, Hierophant Green. Now, I really love the design of this one. The model looks great. It's got lots of tendrils and things protruding off of it all over. This stand is also fairly unique and has quite a few cool abilities that are like AoE moves that could be really great for combat. So its primary move is called Emerald Splash, where it shoots a stream of emeralds, and you can hold it down and it'll do it for longer. It's like this one's Barrage. It's great. The second ability is called Control Coil. You can aim at a mob, and it will shoot it out, climbing surfaces. The first mob it grabs will make it fight for you for 8 seconds, so... Oh, well... Now that we're back here, the next ability is called Tentacle Swing. Now, this is basically the Vine Swing we saw before with Hermit Purple, except it has a longer range, I do believe. But it seems this is also bugged as well. See, quite a few of these abilities are bugged and not working, but I've seen it working before. That is what it does. The final attack is actually my favorite of them all. It is called String Barrier, and it does a 20-meter Emerald Splash. It charges up for a few seconds, stuns all of the mobs in the area, and continuously hits them with Emerald Splashes. This is great. This is the AoE move I was talking about earlier. This is great for fighting off large hordes of mobs, so this will be a very useful attack for combat. And honestly, a great farming tool, too. That is Hierophant Green, all wrapped up. The next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the stand of the Imposter Captain Tennille. This stand is called Dark Blue Moon. It's really cool. I really love the design of this stand. It looks like a big fish monster. It's cool. And this stand is going to require some water. So I've created a little puddle here. Its first ability is called Whirlpool, where if you're in the water and you right-click, you're able to create a whirlpool that would shake up enemies and do a little bit of damage. Now, you're able to add a little bit extra damage to this by being in the whirlpool and right-clicking with the ability Razor Scales. It pulls off its scales and it periodically does a little bit of a slicing attack to all things inside the whirlpool, doing a little bit of extra damage. Now, Dark Blue Moon is great for underwater fighting, but it can also do some on-land stuff too, like a Barrage. Now, its Barrage is definitely a little bit weirder than the other stands. It's more vertical. And its final ability is called Barnacle Infestation. Now, with this, you can summon a little group of barnacles that will move towards the first mob it sees and do damage, which is a really cool little attack to kind of keep things busy if you want to run away. But that is Dark Blue Moon wrapped up. Now, the last stand from part 3 we're going to be taking a look at is the stand of Vanilla Ice. And get ready, Cream. Now, this stand is terrifying. In the manga and anime, it is definitely one of the most powerful stands that we've seen, especially in part 3. So, its main ability is just activating it, where you get swallowed by Cream. Or, well, you should, but the attack must be bugged, unfortunately. But if the attack were to be working correctly, you would get swallowed by Cream and become blind, but everything you move towards blocks are broken in like a 3x3 radius, destroying them completely. And any entities inside of that 3-block radius will take heavy damage. It also has an ability called Quick Chop, where it jumps forward and does a chopping motion. And it has an alternate form of this ability called Double Chop, where it goes in and does it twice quickly at 2 entities. And that is Cream, all wrapped up. Now we're on to part 4 stands. This is the stand of Josuke Higashikata, Crazy Diamond. Now, this also is my favorite stand in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it is definitely one of my favorites in this data pack. It has some really cool and unique abilities that none of the other stands can do anything close to. So, its first attack is called Merge Enemy, and I'll show you why in a second. No, we'll just keep with the cows for now. You right-click on an enemy, and it will do a short little punch barrage and summon blocks that will form around the entity for a short period of time, stunning it so you can do damage, and then when the damage is done, it launches it up in the air so it can take some fall damage as well. That is a really, really useful attack. Its second ability is Heal Mobs and Repair Items. So we'll go ahead and show you the Repair Items one first. Now that's because that's one we can really show more. So if I had an item like this, let's see. Let's just go into survival real quick. Now we're to attack this cow. The sword takes durability damage. Now if I throw that out on the ground, keep it in front of me, and then shift right-click the item, it'll have a really cool little animation that plays, healing a large portion of the damage done. In this case, since the sword had very little damage done to it in the first place, it's completely fixed. Now that is very, very useful, but it does have a long cooldown. Its secondary ability on that are just heals mobs, or entities, rather, so you can do it on players as well. Its next ability requires glass. So you need to So once you have a stack of glass or so, however many you would like, it will consume glass from your inventory on right-click and shoot it out like a bullet, doing damage to the mob it comes in contact with. Its next ability is called Barrage. Now, this is really cool. Unlike all of the other barrages, it can slam... It did a little glitch there. You can slam through and break blocks. And then when you're done, you can right-click to restore those blocks. So this would be really cool for tunneling away, trying to escape an opponent. You can just smash through a wall and it'll immediately be restored afterwards. Its final ability is called Ground Slam. If there's an entity in front of you, you can right-click. It'll do a short little animation, sucking it into the ground, and then you can restore the blocks, suffocating the entity beneath. That one's definitely deadly, and would be a great attack to subvert somebody's attention, so that one would be great. And that's basically Crazy Diamond all wrapped up. The next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the Hand. This is the stand of Okuyasu Nijimura. Now this stand is really cool and another super powerful one that has some unique abilities as well. So its first ability, Erasure, erases whatever is in front of the targeted area, like blocks and mobs. in a little 2-block radius, and then it can do it twice before cooldown. So there you go. Its next ability is called Erasure Dash, so you can right-click and kind of warp forward a few blocks. Its secondary ability on this is called Bring Closer, and then you can shift-click and bring mobs or entities in the vicinity closer towards you. It also has a quick little barrage that it can do. Doesn't erase things, though, like Crazy Diamond, unfortunately. But yeah, that is the hand all wrapped up. Alright, the next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is Heaven's Door. The user is Rohan Kishibe. And this stand is very interesting, and it is very difficult to use, and is one of the stands that is still needing balanced. If you actually go to the wiki of the data pack, it does say this as a big warning. So it requires paper to use, and it uses that paper as ammunition to mark targets. So if I were to F on that paper, then I can transmute this cow into a target. I can do something like rip a page, which will do damage over time and slow the opponent. And if they're a player, they'll lose 3 XP levels as well. Or I can mark the target. Oh, well, see, you have to do it very quickly. Earn it, and then when it's turned, it gives you a book that if you quickly write a few phrases in, such as, I will burn, I will become stronger, I will become faster, it will apply those effects to that mob or player. But like I said, very difficult to use, because when that book is active, you have 5 seconds to write. But yeah, that is Heaven's Door, all wrapped up. The next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the stand of Yoshikage Kira, Killer Queen. Again, this is one of my favorites. I just love Killer Queen. I love its design. I love all of its abilities. It's great. So, its primary ability is called Sheer Heart Attack. We're going to want to summon some entities nearby. It will send out a little tank that will move towards the closest entity. Oh, yeah, and do that. See, it's going towards entities. We gotta go pick it up. No! Okay. Well, yeah, it'll move towards the closest entities, including item frames, and blow stuff up. Its second ability is a barrage attack, just like a lot of other stands. And it does have a combat combo as well, so let's put a cow down in front of us, and let's hold it in. Now, this one's really cool, because I do believe it will start playing some music. Yeah, there it is. And it has some nice screen effects as well. A lot of these stands that are music references will have a little snippet of that music playing that the stand is referring to, which I think is really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much Killer Queen all wrapped up. The next stand we're going to be taking a look at is the stand of Teranosuke Miyamoto Enigma. Now this stand is also very cool and very strange. It's quite large. It is definitely way larger than any of the other stands. It is huge. This stand also requires ammo in the form of paper. So you can do things such as sealing yourself in a piece of paper that will float around. It's quite nice. It's a way to hide from opponents and kind of just float around for a little bit. You can go ahead and do a sealed gunshot, which requires, as you can see, an item that we have just over here. So this right here is the revolver, and a couple stands use this as well as its ammo. It's very simple to craft. It just needs a tripwire hooks, some ingots, and an iron block. So as long as you have some iron, you can definitely craft this. And it's just a cool weapon as well that you can use, but a couple stands, like I said, will use it in their abilities. So the ammo is also fairly simple to make. It's just an iron ingot and some gunpowder. So let me go ahead and grab a couple of these, as I did not really set up a chest beforehand. So let's take these nuggets, and as you can see, it will load them into the gun, and you can shoot them like that. So let's go ahead here. We'll spawn a cow in front of us, and we'll go out and pull out Enigma, and we will go ahead and use sealed gunshot on this cow. It did miss. Didn't use the right ability. Dang. Alright. Let's see. Stop moving. Thank you. So now we have this Enigma paper that you can use on an enemy to do a little burst of damage. Its final ability, Paper Seal, allows you to... Well, if I could get it on the right tile, we need kind of here. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build a little enclosure here. Try and trap a cow inside. It's difficult to aim this one if you're not good at it. So you go ahead and right-click Paper Seal. It allows you to seal people in a paper dimension. You can put people in here, and you can put mobs in here as well. You go ahead and you right-click, and right now this is another one that seems to be a little bit bugged, because I definitely put a cow in there, but it does seem like a pig is coming out. I'm sure that'll be fixed in the future, though. But yeah, that is pretty much Enigma all wrapped up. Alright, so now we are on to part 5 stands, and the next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the stand of Giovanna, Golden Experience. This is another one of my favorite ones. Its abilities are super cool. So, its primary ability is to heal entities. So, like, if this cow had taken some damage, we go ahead and right-click on it, and it'll play a little animation. Golden Experience will walk up to it, or crawl rather, and do a little burst of healing. It's great. And then its secondary ability is just a barrage. This one's very fast. And it does a little bit of overtime damage as well. Its next ability is called Life Sensor. So go ahead, it punches the ground and releases a little field of energy, and it'll tell you all of the mobs in that circle. Now, what I think is really cool is if there are undead mobs, such as husks, zombies, skeletons, etc., they will not be counted in this field. It won't show you that they are there. So if we go ahead and give it just a second to recharge, I'll be able to hear it and show you that. So we're next to these husks here. We use the Life Sensor ability. It does show us that the cows are nearby, but not the husks. So that's really cool as well. Its next ability is Life Giver, and it has a couple different modes. So we're going to start off here in vines. You right-click on the ground, and it will grow a vine. This vine is permanent. It is super cool. You can use it to reach higher places. You can climb up out of danger. It also sort of is a source of infinite twisting vines here, which I'd imagine that probably is going to have to be fixed. So if you switch effect, it is Life Giver Creature. This is one of the coolest abilities. Now, unfortunately, this one is bugged, but I can still sort of show it. So if you throw an item down in front of you, and you right-click the ability, it'll give you a list of things you can turn that item into. Now, in this beta of the data pack I'm in, the item doesn't disappear, but the mob does show up. But I think that's a really cool ability. The item will still come out of the mob when it disappears, so you can kind of see how it would work if it were working correctly. But I'm sure that'll be fixed in a future update. Its final ability is called Life Shot Punch, and you can extend forward doing a punch ability that will stun enemies and give them a little bit of a blindness effect on contact. That works on players as well. But that is pretty much Golden Experience all wrapped up. Next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the stand of Bruno Bucciarati, and it is Sticky Fingers. This is also a really cool stand as well. I mean, they're all awesome, but this one is another one of my favorite ones, just purely because of the abilities. So its primary is called Extend Punch. It throws out a fist and can reach enemies a couple feet away. It's sort of like the Blade Shot on Silver Chariot, which is nice. But its next ability is called Zipper Dash. This is a great little dash move that can carry you, like, looks like 6 or 7 blocks. And in a really quick little burst that's great for fleeing people or mobs. It can also lay a zipper trap on the ground that will suck enemies in. And it will keep them there, and when the zipper breaks, they all pop back out. It gives you a quick second to run away. That also works on players, and here are the really exciting abilities. You can do a zipping barrage. So next to a wall, you want to punch it a bunch, it will create a little zipper, and as long as it's a 1-block wall, you can walk through it to the other side. And then its secondary on that is zipping ground punch, which is the same thing, but for ceilings. You can jump down to the other side. This would be really useful if you were on a multiplayer server with base rating and things like that. Now, it does also have a barrage, which I want to show here. It just has a long one like the others. And then this ability, which is a wall jump. If you come up close to a wall, you can jump up. It'll carry up the side. It's like the zipper dash, but for vertical surfaces. And unfortunately, its secondary ability here, which is an item storage, is also bugged. But I'm sure, again, a lot of these things will be fixed in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much Sticky Fingers all wrapped up. Alright, the next stand we're going to go ahead and check out is the stand of Diavolo, and it is called King Crimson. Now, this one I'm going to have to be in survival mode to show you one of the abilities. We got a perfect opportunity right here. So we're going to go ahead and... its primary ability is called Epitaph. If you activate Epitaph, any damage that you will take during this won't be applied until afterwards, which is kind of useful if you wanted to get like an escape plan, but if used in tandem with another ability it has, if we activate Epitaph and we go to its secondary ability, Time Erase, we activate that, time will be erased at the end of Epitaph. So things will be kind of reset to their position, you kind of go invisible, it plays all these nice effects, you can attack things in this, and bam, then you can use it to kind of escape or flee or attack enemies while being invulnerable. It's great. It's another cool ability. Then we have Ground Slam, which does like a slam attack on the ground, and then it has a chopping attack, which is sort of just like it goes out behind an enemy and chops them from behind. Let's see if we can kill this husk using that attack. Let's see. Ground Slam, chop attack. Yeah, we did it. Sweet. But yeah, that's pretty much King Crimson all wrapped up. The next stand we're going to go ahead and showcase is Green Day, which is the stand of Chocolata. This one is also very cool and unique, and has some cool abilities that can get you out of a sticky situation. This one is also a little bit less humanoid than the other ones, and I think that's cool. It kind of looks like a cactus. So we're going to go ahead and show you what it does. So its primary ability is called Amputate Limb. You can use this a couple different times to detach limbs from your body and send them out to attack nearby mobs. So that can be really useful for picking off mobs that are chasing you. Its next ability is called Grab. It will... Here, let's see. I gotta get it so that we can target a mob here. It grabs an enemy and completely immobilizes them for 2 seconds. And then its final third ability is placing it. You place the stand, it charges up for a small amount of time for releasing green mold in a 20 block radius. Now, things that are infected with this mold, when they move to a lower position on the ground, they begin to slowly take debuff damage, such as poison, slowness, blindness, which is really useful for picking off players that are chasing you, or even large groups of mobs. As long as you can infect them with the mold, well, there you go. Alright, and that is pretty much Green Day all wrapped up. Alright, so the next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the stand of Risotto Nero. It is called Metallica. Now this one doesn't have a shape that it takes at all, but it has some very cool abilities. So this stand requires a fuel that is blood, and you get blood by going ahead and right-clicking on mobs and taking blood out of them. Or, well, the iron in the blood, rather. You go ahead and you do it to mobs a few times. Once they glow yellow, it means that they don't have any more iron inside them. Once you hear that sound effect, it means you've done it correctly. It is sort of difficult to aim this one, but once you've practiced with it enough, you'll definitely get the hang of it. So I need to get at least one more here. Alright, so once you have enough iron out of their blood, you can use the different abilities it has, such as Scalpel Creation, where it creates a scalpel and shoots it in the direction of the enemy. It also has Invisibility, which turns you invisible for as much iron as you have on you, but that will drain your iron slowly, and eventually you'll run out, becoming visible again. So we've got to really extract some iron a few more times here. Sorry, cow. Taking all the iron in your blood, that is definitely not going to be good for you. Alright, let's get it one more time. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. So, it also has the ability to staple wounds. So if you were to take damage, you get stunned for a short time while recovering all the damage you've taken. So let's get a few more cows here, and we'll show off its final ability. So we've trained all their iron. Let's see. Gosh, very difficult to get the iron out of them. Come on, cow. Come on. Don't have to beat this way. This stand definitely, I would say, requires some preparation beforehand using it. It would definitely be easier to go and have like a farm where you can extract iron from animals that you're farming and then go out and use the stand. Because this definitely does take a while and would not be a good thing to kind of sit there and try and do during combat. Let's see, do we have enough for that final ability? Yes, we do. Alright. Razor Blades creation. It goes ahead and cuts up a enemy in front of you with a bunch of razor blades or shears that it creates, which you can't actually pick up, they all disappear, and it does a large amount of damage. But yeah, that is Metallica pretty much all wrapped up. Alright, so the next stand we're going to go ahead and have a look at is Jolene Cujo's stand, the daughter of Jotaro Kujo, Stone Free. The stand is actually pretty cool as well. Its primary ability is Pickpocket Item, which shoots out a little string, and it allows you to pickpocket a random item from another player's inventory. So unfortunately, I can't showcase that right now. It also has a neat barrage that it uses, just like Star Platinum and the other stands that have barrages. It also has another string swing ability, but this one is the largest of the ranges. It is the longest. You are stunned while you shoot at the string. It shoots out, and then it has a long cooldown. Its third ability is called Unravel Body, and you can unravel your body up to 3 times, gaining a lot of defense each time. Every time you do it, you also move quite a bit slower. The third time, once you have all 3, and you press a 4th time, you get rid of all of the Unravel Body ability. Its next ability is Stitch Wounds. This allows you to be stunned for a short second while you heal a little bit. And that is pretty much Stone Free, all wrapped up. Alright, the next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is called Manhattan Transfer, and is the stand of John Gallier. This stand is a really good offensive stand, so you can go ahead and have the stand move forward or backwards in a direction like this, and it can go up to 40 blocks. Once you have a destination selected, you go to Summon Manhattan Transfer, and it will move to that area you've placed it. So its third ability is called Wind Reading, and it will scan mobs and make them glow, and depending on how close they are is how long they'll glow for. So you saw that cow only glowed for a short period of time. It's because it's close, and this requires the revolver to work properly. When you shoot a bullet at Manhattan Transfer, if you can actually make contact. Hold on, let's go ahead and get another bullet shot there. It will deflect the bullets at the closest entity. So, let's see, we get some closer cows. Let's see, it shot it, did a reflect there. There was the blue. It got that cow. The bullet also exploded, so it got all those ones in its range. Bam. See, it got that cow over there. See? This one would be very useful if you wanted to hide, because it also works behind walls. So if you wanted to hide behind walls and kind of take shots at people around the corner like this, you could do so. And see, it shot that because that was the closest entity. But yeah, that's pretty much Manhattan Transfer all wrapped up. All right, so the next stand we're going to go ahead and take a look at is Jumpin' Jack Flash, which is the stand of Lang Wrangler. So go ahead and summon it. It looks like this. It's got a very weird head. Looks cool nonetheless. So it has a couple abilities. Its first ability, it requires iron nuggets for. So it uses those iron nuggets as ammo to shoot out in a constant stream, kind of like Emerald Splash, except it uses the iron nuggets and sprays them everywhere. Its next ability is one that, like, none of the other stands have, shockingly. It is just the ability to block incoming damage and reduce incoming damage. Its third ability is to spit. It's sort of like Oasis's Mud Spit ability, but it does not need ammo. And then its final ability here is the Zero Gravity ability. So it creates a field, does a little charge up, and then creates a field of low gravity around you, so you can sort of float around. It'd be great to avoid attacks. But that is pretty much Jumpin' Jack Flash, all wrapped up. Alright, and the next stand we're going to go ahead and look at is probably the coolest. It is Whitesnake, and the user is Enrico Pucci. Whitesnake's design looks, I mean, phenomenal, honestly. This is one of my favorite stands. I think between this one and Crazy Diamond, it's definitely, and then one stand that we have to come, those are definitely my top three. So, its primary ability is to open its disc collection, of which you have a couple different stand discs here. So, we're going to go ahead and, well, we're going to try my freaking best. It is a little difficult to grab these out. Okay, there we go. Alright, and then we can go back and close our disc collection. So you can force stand discs into other players and entities, and you can steal stand discs from other players and entities. So we're going to go ahead and show you these three that it comes with to force them into other entities. So we're going to start with the Survivor, which we're going to wait for him to stop moving. Okay, we got it in. It went in. It plays a little animation, and now this mob has a stand. So if we go ahead, we attack it, it will summon Survivor all around. So basically, if you step on this stand, you will get heavy debuffs, and you will take a little bit of damage, and it will kind of teleport all over the place. And I do believe it gives the user some buffs as well. So we're going to go ahead, and instead of using Whitesnake, we're just going to go ahead and whack him here, and Survival will now slowly fade away, and we get our disc returned to us. And then we're going to show off the next one. So this is Highway to Hell. There's another stand disc. We can force it in, and then attack. So this basically will do any damage that you do to the mob back to you, but it can only focus on one target at a time. So if you had multiple players or multiple entities attacking this mob at once, you would be okay. But go ahead and kill it. Get our disc back. And then we will force in the boiling water stand. I don't believe this one does anything at the moment other than these particle effects, but I'm sure it will do something in the future that is really cool. While we're here, we might as well test a little theory. So let's see. Let's get ourselves a stand disc for another stand, and we'll try using Whitesnake to force it into a mob and see if other stands can be given to mobs as well. So here's our Whitesnake disc. Let's go ahead and we'll play a little command here. And let's just pick like an easy one. Like, let's pick Star Platinum. And then we will write Star Platinum to a stand disc. And let's put him here. Alright, now that we have the Star Platinum disc, let's get our stand back. There's Whitesnake. Okay, so now we have a Star Platinum disc. Let's see. Can we... Yeah, we can force it. Oh, it went in? Okay. We can definitely force it in. It doesn't seem to do a whole lot, though. Yeah, he didn't seem to do anything. Maybe he would have, like, boosted damage or something, but, that's kind of unfortunate. I'm sure they'll implement that into the future. It's cool that you can even force it in anyway. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and open back up our disc collection. We're gonna put these away. Just go ahead and get rid of these because I'm in creative. But... So we're gonna showcase how you can steal discs from another player or entity. So, even though this mob, this husk here, doesn't have a stand, it can have a memory disk taken from it. So different groups of mobs have different memory disks that they'll drop. So if you go ahead and you use its chop attack and then immediately press right click, a little animation will play, a disc will come out of its head, and it'll be stunned. Now you can't pick up the disc right away. You have to wait for the stun to be over, and then you can go grab the disc. See, we got, yeah, an undead creature disc. Now we can go ahead and then force this into another mob of choice. Like, it could be any mob. You can put it in a bee if you wanted. Heck, it'll, well, if you can actually reach the bee. Come on, bee. A bee was not the best choice. Let's pick up like a cave spider or something. You can stick it in the cave spider, and it'll burn now like an undead mob, which is really cool. So yeah, that's how that is used. Let's go into its barrage, which isn't just another cool barrage attack. There's a different sound effect than some of the other ones on that one, as well as having a really, really neat combat combo that it can do. This is another one where you have to click it multiple times instead of just holding, it looks like. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh, well, we end up killing it, but it's going to do the combo attack anyway. That's fine, I guess. Yeah, this is another one that plays a snippet of music that references the stand. There we go. And then the music slowly fades out. I think that's a really cool combo. It's definitely one of the flashier ones. And then we have its final ability, which is remote control. You turn into Enrico Pucci, and you're able to just manually control Whitesnake. You can run a bit faster. You have a lot of health. You do have the hunger debuff, but you have absorption, mining fatigue, slowness, invisibility, and strength too. So you're also a bit stronger with the cost of some debuffs. You know, this can last as long as you like. And you can do another ability called Melt Your Heart. In this field, mobs will slowly get debuffs that will slow them eventually until they're stopped. It makes it easier to collect discs out of them, things like that. And you can also turn into your molten form, which allows you to move around pretty much invisible in the ground, but as soon as you move outside the field, you'll turn back pretty much immediately. You can also open your disc collection from here, and its last thing it can do is, since, you know, the identity of Whitesnake is meant to be a secret, if you click on this ability, you type something in the book like this, and then you click done, and then you press F, it will say it in chat as if Whitesnake was speaking. So you could use this to hide your identity in a server with other people. So alright, to return Whitesnake, or at least lose control, you go to remote control deactivate, and you just right click on that. Now Whitesnake will stay in the position he was in, so you can still control it from here, do attacks such as the barrages, but the barrage looks like it'll kind of pull him close to you. But then as soon as he's done, he'll stay in that position, so you could potentially just leave Whitesnake sitting there. And you can also bring him back just by shift and resetting. Now, one of the coolest things about Whitesnake so far is that it does have an evolution. So, to unlock that evolution, you have to start by getting Dio's Bone, which is a really, really low drop from skeletons. Now, I'm not going to showcase the event as it takes a while to do, but once you have Dio's Bone, if you throw it on the ground with a Totem of Undying, it will start to bounce around, and it will turn mobs and other players nearby into trees. Once it's done 36 of those, an egg will hatch with the boss we're about to show you. Now, once 36 mobs have been turned, an egg will spawn out of the bone containing green baby. Now, once this egg hatches after 15 seconds, he will be pretty much passive until you approach him. And then once you start attacking him, he'll use his stand to fight back. Since we're in creative mode, this is fairly easy. But he does have a lot of health. You can see it takes several crits to kill him with a netherite sword. So you can pick up Green Baby and use a more weak version of his stand, but if you hold it and press F, it will do this.
Was that the intro I should have been in?
You'll get a custom achievement. The 14 words. Evolve Whitesnake using the green baby after reading Dio's diary. Now, Dio's diary isn't implemented yet. It's an item you can obtain, but it is pretty much useless. But then you have Seamoon. Now, you do lose the ability to steal stand discs and such. I'm not sure if that's a permanent change, but you can do a quick punch ability, a barrage with Seamoon, a surface inversion punch, which when he slams on the ground will invert gravity in a small field. Let's see, let's get some mobs here. We'll get some creepers. It'll invert gravity, kind of push them away from you. They'll float backwards. And then you can still remote control it as well. Which is a little buggy. It doesn't look like the animations have been fully implemented, but you can still type in chat as Seamoon. It will show the difference. It won't say Whitesnake. And then, yeah, you can deactivate control just like Whitesnake and bring it back as well. But yeah, that's really cool. So that was Whitesnake and Seamoon all wrapped up. Alright, so the last stand out of all the stands we're going to show off is another stand of alternate universe Josuke Higashikata. It is called Soft and Wet. Now, this is another contender for my favorites. I love this stand. I love all of its abilities, its design. It's great. So, this stand is very versatile in what it can do. It can be used to disable opponents as well as do attacks. So let's spawn in a couple cows here. Its primary ability is Soap Bubble, where it can shoot out soap bubbles that bounce off and do 1 heart per bubble that contacts. So if we want to spam click it here, we'll bounce off all surfaces and do damage, which in a tight space or small room or even out here, it did a lot of damage and killed that cow. Its secondary ability is Bubble Shield. This can be done on yourself or others nearby, where it floats you up in the air and surrounds you with bubbles and makes you invulnerable from damage for a short period of time. This can be used to escape or even just heal up during a fight. Now, this is where the kind of ability gets crazy. So, Soft and Wet has the ability to steal properties from anything, really. But in the data pack, it can be used to steal properties from mobs. So, you can change what it steals. So, stealing sight will make the mob blind, which is really nice. To confuse opponents, it can steal its friction, which creates a little area of effect that makes things kind of slippery and lose their friction when they move inside of that little space. You can steal an item from another player. Obviously, that's not going to work on a mob. And that one does have a longer cooldown because obviously, if you could just sit there and spam click it and steal like a player's whole inventory, that would be kind of overpowered. You could steal water, which makes them slow for a short period of time. Or you can steal sound, which kind of steals all the sound in the area, kind of deafens everything in this bubble. For the most part, anyhow. It makes things quieter, too. It also lags the game, for whatever reason, really hard. And then its final ability, let's get a stronger mob. We'll get like a wither skeleton so you can see the full effect. It's called Go Beyond, which is basically its combo attack. I love this. It's really cool. Plays music, shows manga panels, and does a really long animation. So let's wait for him to kind of sit still, and we'll go for it. Does a lot of damage. I'm assuming it would probably apply some status effects to that mob as well. But yeah, that's pretty much soft and wet all wrapped up. Alright, now we come to the final thing in the data pack so far. That is another really cool sort of power you can use other than stands, which are steel balls. Now, steel balls are crafted like this. It's an iron block surrounded with emeralds. And so you get this, a steel ball. Now, when you initially craft it, you can't really do anything with it, so you have to run a little command here. You do trigger spin, but you have to have at least 15 XP to unlock. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself XP again here. We'll just do another. Make sure, and then, we'll do it again. So trigger spin. Huh. Oops, I did that command wrong, that's why. Add. There we go. I was like, why didn't that work? Okay, now we do spin. Bam. You'll get another custom achievement, which is unlock spin. And then you'll get a list of quests and abilities. So the two abilities that you get right out of the gate are throw steel ball. You just throw the steel ball and it'll come back to you. And you get spin leap, where you look down and it launches you in the air a little bit. It's kind of like the stand jump with Star Platinum. Now, there are 3 quests for each level, and there are 2 levels. Once you complete all these, you unlock 2 more abilities, and then once you complete the other quests that it gives you, you'll unlock 2 more abilities. And I'm not going to showcase those here, because I do believe one of these quests at least is kind of bugged. I think this run 0.5 km with the horse, I do believe that one's bugged, so there's no way for me, unfortunately, to show you the other abilities that they unlock. But again, this is very work in progress data pack, and a lot of these things will sort of be updated and fixed and tweaked in the future. So we're going to go ahead and show you these 2 abilities that I can show you, however, where you can throw steel ball. You have to wait for the letters to charge up, and I'm assuming the charge time decreases with each level of spin. So that goes a large distance. Or if you look directly down, you can throw the steel ball up in a tornado motion, allowing you to jump and reach kind of a better height. You can only have one of these at a time for now, unfortunately. So you can't like charge multiple steel balls and throw them multiple of them at a time like in the Steel Ball Run manga, unfortunately. But yeah, that's spin all wrapped up. All right, so yeah, that was the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Go Beyond data pack. That is pretty much all this data pack offers right now, but the creators are constantly updating and tweaking and adding new things to this, so I will be linking the Discord down below for those that are interested. But yeah, this is Bose of Bostar signing off. Thanks for watching.